There's a place right in the center of Africa that often slips past our collective consciousness. It's a vast, landlocked nation, the dead heart of Africa. This is Chad. Its name comes from Lake Chad, a body of water that has sustained life here for millennia. The country's flag is a vertical tricolor: blue, yellow, red. Blue, sky, hope, and the waters of the south. Yellow, the sun and the vast Sahara Desert in the north. Red, the blood shed for independence. Look at a map and Chad's isolation is clear. Libya, Sudan, Central African Republic, Cameroon, Nigeria, Niger. This position has made it a crossroads of cultures, trade routes, conflicts for centuries. Its capital city is N'Djamena, a bustling hub of activity situated where the Chari and Logon rivers meet. With a population of around 19 million people spread across nearly 1.3 million square kilometers. The official currency is the Central African CFA franc. Its government is a republic with a strong presidential system. Understanding Chad begins with appreciating its sheer scale and diversity. It's a place where the modern world bumps up against ancient ways of life. Nomadic herders guiding their camels across endless dunes. In the capital, you'll see signs of a nation striving for the 21st century. The country is a mosaic of over 200 ethnic groups, each with its own language and traditions. French, Arabic, local tongues filling markets and villages. Religion also plays a significant role in daily life. Predominantly Muslim, especially in the northern and eastern regions. Significant Christian communities in the south. Animist traditions are also present. In the north, you have the Sahara Desert, a vast expanse of sand and rock that seems to stretch on forever. This is a world of breathtaking emptiness, where the silence is broken only by the wind. Here you'll find the Tibesti Mountains, a volcanic range that rises dramatically from the desert floor. This is where you'll find Emikusi, an extinct volcano. Emikusi, the highest point in both Chad and the entire Sahara. Moving south from the Sahara, the landscape gradually transforms into the Sahelian belt. This is a semi-arid zone, a transitional region between the harsh desert and the more fertile lands further south. It's here that you find the lifeblood of the nation, Lake Chad. Once one of the largest lakes in the world, it has tragically shrunk by over 90% since the 1960s. Further south still, the landscape becomes a Sudanese savanna zone. This area receives more rainfall, and the vegetation is much greener and more lush. This is the agricultural heartland of Chad, where crops like cotton are grown. Sorghum is also cultivated here. Millet is another staple crop. The terrain is a mix of open grasslands and woodlands, crisscrossed by important rivers. The Chari, the Logon, which flow into Lake Chad. This geographical variety gives rise to an equally varied climate. The northern desert region experiences a hot, arid climate with extreme temperature fluctuations. Days can be scorching hot, nights can become surprisingly cold. The southern savanna enjoys a tropical climate with a distinct wet season from May to October and a dry season for the rest of the year. This climatic diversity dictates everything in Chad, from where people live and what they farm to the incredible array of wildlife that calls this country home. The culture of Chad is not one single entity, but a vibrant tapestry woven from the threads of over 200 different ethnic groups. The Sera in the south, the Tubu in the north, each has its own unique customs, music, and art. Music is central to life here. It's part of every ceremony: weddings, births, harvest festivals. The rhythms are often complex, played on the kinda, a type of bow harp, various drums, and balafons. Storytelling is another cherished tradition, passing down history, morals, cultural values from one generation to the next under the vast, starry sky. Food in Chad is hearty, designed to sustain. The staple is a thick porridge made from millet or sorghum, known locally as boule. This is typically eaten with sauces often made with meat, fish, or vegetables like okra and tomatoes. In the north, the diet is based on milk, dates, and meat from camels and goats. Meals are a communal affair, a time for family and friends to gather, share food from a common bowl, and connect at the end of the day. Traditional clothing reflects climate and cultural identity. In the south, you'll see vibrant, colorful cotton fabrics. Women often wear a panier, a wraparound skirt, with a matching blouse and a headscarf. Men might wear loose-fitting trousers and long robes. In the desert north, clothing protects from sun and sand. The Tubu men, famed for desert survival skills, are known for their turbans wrapped to cover their faces. Daily life for most Chadians is tied to the land and the seasons, agriculture and pastoralism. Life follows a rhythm of planting and harvesting, or the movement of livestock in search of pasture and water. In the cities, life is faster paced, a blend of tradition and modernity. But family and community remain at the core of society. Hospitality is a sacred duty. A visitor will always be offered a place to rest and a glass of sweet mint tea, a simple gesture that speaks volumes about the warmth and generosity of the Chadian people. To understand Chad today, you have to look back into the deep past. The region has been inhabited for thousands of years. Some of the most important human fossils have been discovered here. In 2001, a skull nicknamed Tumai was found in the Jurab Desert. It belongs to Sahelanthropus chadensis, a hominid from about 7 million years ago, one of the oldest known human ancestors. The land also holds countless examples of ancient rock art, particularly in the Enedi and Tibesti Mountains, giraffes, cattle, people. Evidence of a time when the Sahara was a lush savanna. From around the 9th century, the Lake Chad Basin became the seat of powerful and sophisticated empires. They grew wealthy by controlling the trans-Saharan trade routes which connected West Africa to the Mediterranean. Salt, horses, textiles, slaves. The first and most enduring was the Kanem Empire, later the Kanem-Bornu Empire. For nearly 1,000 years it dominated the region. Complex administration, powerful army, rich Islamic culture. Its influence stretched far beyond modern Chad, leaving a lasting legacy. Following Kanem-Bornu's decline, other states rose. Baguirmi Sultanate, Wadai Sultanate. Their wealth came from trade and military power. They frequently fought each other and Kanem-Bornu over territory and roots. These centuries created political and social structures shaping the modern nation. European colonial powers arrived in the late 19th century. The French began a military campaign in the 1890s facing fierce resistance. The Battle of Kuseri in 1900, where French forces defeated and killed Rabi, marked a turning point. The period of French colonial rule was a time of profound change and upheaval for the people of Chad. The French administration treated the country primarily as a source of raw cotton and cheap labor. Little investment went into infrastructure, education, healthcare, especially in the Muslim-majority north. This policy of neglect created deep-seated resentments and worsened tensions between the North and the South. On August 11, 1960, Chad was granted independence. François Tombalbaye, a politician from the South, became the first president. The early years were full of hope, but quickly overshadowed by political instability. Tombalbaye's authoritarian rule and policies favoring the South alienated the North and the Central regions, leading to a brutal civil war that began in 1965. The following decades were a near-constant state of conflict. The civil war involved numerous rebel factions often backed by neighboring countries like Libya. In 1975, Tombalbaye was overthrown and killed in a military coup. War devastated the economy, fractured society, and left a lasting legacy of violence. In 1990, Idriss Deby, a former army commander, seized power in a coup and set up a regime that lasted 3 decades. His rule brought some stability, especially after oil was discovered in the early 2000s. But his presidency also showed authoritarianism, corruption, and continued rebellions in the east. In April 2021, President Deby was killed while visiting troops on the front line. His death ushered in uncertainty. A transitional military council took control, led by his son, promising a return to civilian rule. For generations, Chad's economy was almost entirely based on agriculture and livestock. Over 80% of the population still depends on subsistence farming and herding. Cotton, historically the primary cash crop. Sorghum, millet, groundnuts, grown for local consumption. In the Sahelian and Saharan regions, pastoralism is a way of life. Cattle, camels, sheep, goats. These herds are a major source of wealth and a key export, especially to Nigeria. In 2003, the Chad-Cameroon Petroleum Development and Pipeline Project changed the economic landscape. The project allowed Chad to begin exporting crude oil from reserves in the Doba Basin. Oil quickly became the cornerstone of the national economy. It now accounts for the majority of export earnings and government revenue. The oil boom brought a sudden influx of wealth. Some revenue-funded infrastructure projects, but the windfall has also been linked to corruption. Beyond oil and agriculture, Chad has other industries. Gum arabic is harvested from acacia trees across the Sahelian belt. Chad is one of the world's largest producers. Gum arabic is used in food and pharmaceuticals. Small-scale manufacturing processes, agricultural products, cotton textiles, meat processing, beer brewing, mining for gold, mining for natron, a naturally occurring salt. Despite the oil wealth, Chad remains among the poorest and least developed countries. Economic strengths include agricultural potential, vast livestock herds, mineral resources. But significant challenges remain. Chad is landlocked, making trade expensive. Infrastructure is severely underdeveloped. Poor roads and limited electricity across much of the country. Decades of political instability and conflict have hampered growth and deterred foreign investment. The key to a more prosperous future is diversifying away from oil. Investing in people, education, investing in people, healthcare, and achieving lasting peace and stability. This traditional economy is highly vulnerable to frequent droughts and climate change. Its shrinking waters are a stark and visible reminder of environmental challenges. Communities are adapting with improved irrigation, drought-resistant crops, and water conservation, but the challenges remain immense. Yet the resilience of Chad's people continues to shine through. From ancient trade empires to modern oil wealth, from devastating conflicts to ongoing recovery, Chad's story is one of survival, adaptation, and an unbreakable human spirit that refuses to be defeated by geography, climate, or circumstance. When you think of tourist destinations, Chad might not be the first place that comes to mind, but for the adventurous traveler, it offers some of the most spectacular and untouched landscapes on the planet. The crown jewel is undoubtedly the Untamed Massif in the northeast, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is a vast sandstone plateau that has been carved by wind and water over millennia into a breathtaking labyrinth of canyons, arches, and towering rock formations known as gueltas. It's an otherworldly landscape that feels like you've landed on Mars. It's also home to a surprising amount of life, including the last remaining population of West African crocodiles, surviving in isolated pools of water. Another of Chad's great natural wonders is Zakuma National Park in the southeast. In recent years, this park has become one of Africa's greatest conservation success stories. After being decimated by poaching, its elephant population has rebounded thanks to intensive anti-poaching efforts. Today, it's a haven for wildlife. On a safari here, you can see vast herds of elephants, giraffes, buffalo, and numerous species of antelope. It also has a healthy population of lions and other predators. For those drawn to the Great Desert, the Tibesti Mountains in the far north offer an epic adventure. This is one of the most remote and inaccessible mountain ranges in the world. It's a volcanic landscape of stark beauty, with massive craters, hot springs, and the highest peaks in the Sahara. Reaching the Tibesti is a true expedition, requiring careful planning and experienced local guides. But the reward is a sense of solitude and raw natural beauty that is hard to find anywhere else on Earth. Beyond these major landmarks, Chad is full of hidden gems. The Guelta d'Arche, located within the Untamed Massif, is one of the most famous oases in the Sahara. It's a deep canyon with a permanent pool of water, where every day, hundreds of camels are brought to drink, their cries echoing off the sheer rock walls. It's an ancient, timeless scene. Then there is Lake Chad itself. Although it has shrunk, it is still a vast and vital wetland, supporting millions of people and a rich diversity of birdlife. Exploring its islands by boat offers a unique insight into the lives of the fishermen and farmers who depend on its waters. Chad is truly a destination for the explorer at heart. While Chad may not be a household name on the global stage, it has produced individuals whose talent and impact have been felt far beyond its borders. One of the most prominent is the filmmaker Mohamed Saleh Haroun. His films have brought Chad's stories to an international audience, earning him acclaim at festivals like Cannes. Abuna, which means Our Father, A Screaming Man, offer poignant, humanistic portraits of life in a country marked by conflict and by poverty. Haroun's work provides a powerful and nuanced voice for his homeland, challenging stereotypes and showcasing the resilience of its people. In the world of literature, Kulzi Lamko stands out. Playwright, novelist, poet, university lecturer. His work explores political violence, exile, and the search for identity. Forced to flee Chad during the Civil War, much of his writing reflects the experience of displacement and the longing for a lost homeland. His plays and novels have been performed and published in Africa, Europe, the Americas, making him an important cultural ambassador for Chad and a powerful advocate for peace and reconciliation through the arts. Although less known internationally, Grace Kadindo is a true hero. Obstetrician, gynecologist. She has dedicated her life to improving maternal health care in Chad, a country with one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the world. Dr. Kadindo has worked tirelessly, often in incredibly difficult conditions, to advocate for women's health rights and to train healthcare workers. Her efforts have saved countless lives and have brought international attention to the need for better reproductive health services in developing countries, making her a powerful force for change. In the political arena, the long-standing figure of Idris Deby Itno dominated Chad for 3 decades. His rule was controversial and authoritarian, yet his impact was undeniable. He positioned Chad as a key military power in the fight against Islamist insurgencies in the Sahel region, making the country a crucial security partner for France and the United States. His sudden death in 2021 left a power vacuum and an uncertain future, highlighting just how central his personality had been to the nation's recent history. Chad is a country full of surprises, a place where the extraordinary is often hidden in plain sight. For instance, did you know that the country is sometimes referred to as the Babel Tower of the world? This is because of its incredible linguistic diversity. With over 200 distinct ethnic groups, there are more than 120 languages and dialects spoken within its borders. Another fascinating fact lies beneath the sands of the Jurab Desert. It was here that scientists unearthed the skull of Tumai, which means hope of life in the local Goran language. This 7-million-year-old skull is from one of the earliest known human ancestors, placing Chad right at the dawn of the human story, a true cradle of mankind. My journey through Chad, both in person and through research, has shown me a country of incredible resilience and stark, raw beauty. From the ancient empires of the Lake Chad Basin to the modern-day struggles for stability and development, it is a nation that has endured. Its people, forged by the harshness of the desert and the complexities of history, possess a quiet strength and a deep-seated hospitality that is truly humbling. I hope this glimpse into the heart of Africa has sparked your curiosity. There are so many stories like Chad's across our planet, each one waiting to be discovered. Go out and keep exploring. If you enjoyed this journey to Chad, please subscribe for more country features and hit that notification bell so you never miss an adventure. Until next time, keep discovering the extraordinary in the unexpected.